Hi everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of One in a Millennial, where we rant, laugh, and maybe stumble on a truth or two about navigating work, life, and everything in between.
One in a millennial, here we go, where the laughs come fast and the thoughts just flow. Life's a mess, but we make it shine. Grab a coffee, sit back, it's podcast time.
I'm Anthara, your fellow millennial and a confused corporate girly with way too many opinions and barely any solutions. But I'm hoping that's what makes this interesting and fun for you and me, right? Thanks for joining me this week to rant about just another millennial issue. But before we dive in, a big thank you for all the love and support that has poured in. Honestly, it's what's motivating us to keep this podcast going. So do keep those messages, DMs, and laughs coming in. We absolutely love it. Also, thanks for all the interest in wanting my husband Goku to be a part of these episodes. I am on a mission to convince him, and I'm sure we will get him on board to feature in a couple of episodes, if not all of them. But until that special day arrives, a big thank you to Goku for making sure these episodes are edited and presented beautifully across all platforms. Big thanks, Goku! But until then, I do promise that I will continue to take his views and his take on topics being discussed on not just this episode, but each one to follow. So what are we waiting for? Let's get right in. You've job hopped too much when your family WhatsApp group has to ask you what exactly is your new job, and you're like, give me a second, even I need to check my LinkedIn. Awkward. And that's what brings us to today's topic. It's something that has basically become our generational signature move: job hopping. You know what I mean? Switching jobs every 2, maybe 3 years. Sometimes even faster. It's like speed dating, but with HR forms. Our parents, on the other hand, they were the one company, one lifetime type. My dad proudly shows me his 25 years of service award like it's the Kohinoor diamond. He joined a government job, found his passion in public relations, and served all his working years there. Had the most wonderful retirement party, still thinks of his working days and career with fondness, and is greeted with such warmth and love by all his colleagues and juniors wherever he goes. Sounds like such a nice place to be. Meanwhile, I can't even remember my employee ID because I have just had so many of them. I once filled out a form and wrote my previous company's employee ID by mistake. And that's when I knew my career was turning into a quiz show. Not just for the people around me, but frankly, for myself as well. Our generation treats LinkedIn like Instagram. New company, new title, new and thrilled to announce post. Half of the time, even our families can't keep up. My uncle once introduced me at a wedding as Meet Antra, who works in, some IT thing. To be fair, even I wasn't sure at that point what my title even meant, so I can't blame him. So if it is this complex and so overwhelming, why do we do it in the first place? I think the top reason that most of us has to agree on is the money. Internal hikes are like spare change, chutta, 6 to 7% if you're lucky. And when you jump, boom, 30 to 40% hike. It's like getting promoted without waiting for your boss to remember that you exist. But here's the real question. Are we switching because we want to or because we're forced to? EMIs, rent, lifestyle creep, that guilt trip that Zomato sends you about your monthly spending on biryani. For many of us, job switches aren't about passion, they're just about survival in this economy. But still, the price you pay isn't just an effort. First big shock is culture shock, and it hits you like a truck. Every company has its quirks. and you only discover them once you're inside the system. There's sir culture for starters. You walk in all casual, say good morning, hey so and so, and suddenly everyone around you is like, good morning so and so, sir. You feel like the rude kid at a family function. Took me 2 whole weeks to rewire my tongue and get used to this culture. Still not sure if I'm fully on board with it. Then comes the clothes. Total rule. Some places don't care if you wear hoodies and floaters. Others expect you to look like you're auditioning for Lakme Fashion Week. I once showed up in formal trousers when everyone else was in jeans. And the HR asked me if I had an interview elsewhere. I've also ended up in situations being horribly underdressed where everyone else is all suited up. Both cases, very ugly. Smallest of things like lunch boxes also make company culture. In some offices, bringing your dabba is totally normal. In others, it's the uncoolest thing you can do. I carried my bhindi chapati very confidently once, and the looks I got, you'd think I'd bought contraband to work. And don't even get me started on chai. I think we all agree corporate India runs on chai. It's basically fuel. I once worked at a place where the tea was something like rationed. Imagine surviving Excel marathons with limited chai coupons. That's not a job, that's just prison sentence. Even ways of working, like for example PowerPoint. One place insists on bullets with full stops, another bans them. One only uses sentence case, another worships the title case. Mess up the slide colors? Oh my god. Someone from branding will hunt you down. At one job, I swear I spent more time figuring out templates than doing the actual work, which by itself, mind you, was complex enough. Then there's routines. New job is equal to new commute, new timings, new chai wala, new everything. Suddenly your gym schedule, Netflix binge window and sleep cycle all collapse. You spend the first month just adjusting to your new life. If it's a weird shift or a 6-day week, forget it. Your personal calendar is basically on strike or has had a stroke. Your social calendar takes a very big beating. Promotions, yet another catch. Money improves with a jump, but titles, not so much. Companies reward loyalty with fancy designations. So while your batchmate is now Global Director of Strategic Excellence of something, 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 you have just about made it to Assistant Manager. And sometimes the real plot twist is the reality check you get when a lot of the other seniors are way younger than you. You have to work on that deliverable that is extremely taxing while coping with this existential crisis of what are you doing with your life and how have you gotten yourself into this position in the very first place. And yes, relationships suffer. You make great work friends and then poof, you leave. I used to love playing TT with colleagues at one company. It was the perfect stress buster. Next job, no TT, no foosball, not even a carom board. Just cold stares and even colder coffee. All of this, of course, happens post switching. Now, let's talk about the pain of switching itself. Negotiations are like professional begging. You start bold. I deserve a 50% hike. 2 meetings later, sir, 25% is also fine. 20%, acha chalo. Whatever chai budget you can spare, I will take it. Meanwhile, at your current job, you're hiding like a fugitive, skipping team lunches because you've got a dentist appointment. You know, that's code for just another interview. Dodging questions about why you keep wearing interview formals on random Tuesdays. And the weirdest part, the secrecy. Everyone says, don't tell anyone which company you're joining until you actually join. But why? No one knows. Still, we all whisper about it like we've signed an NDA with the FBI. I followed this rule religiously. even though I have no clue who invented it and why am I supposed to do it in the first place. But it's corporate, so who wants to risk it? Damn it, we do see this as one big mafia, right? Or is it just me? Anyway, next thing is farewell parties. Oh my god, I've had so many. I could open a bakery. I've got so many farewell cakes that now whenever I enter a bakery, I half expect the staff to clap and say, "All the best for your future endeavors, Antra." Of course, some farewells are the ones that bring you on the verge of crying because you know how wonderful a place you're probably leaving behind. And some places you are crying because even post the farewell, your HR team is holding up your relieving letter. On a side note, somewhere the EPS office staff is also losing their minds. Every job change, some poor guy has to merge accounts, transfer funds, re-verify details. I'm convinced there's one babu in EPF whose life's work is just keeping track of my career zigzags. He wants to make sure I have a stable career more than anyone else in my life. One big thing I personally would like to pass on to anyone who's currently looking to switch, without being preachy of course, is look at the package beyond the salary. Insurance, wellness leaves, ease of reimbursements and reimbursement slabs. What kind of hotels they book you for travel? Classy business suites or horror movie motels? The office cabs, smooth pickup and drop, or buses that break down every Friday when you already have great plans awaiting you. When you have to do this day in and day out, all of this does end up mattering. And of course, the most morose topic of them all, which we are still a little reluctant to discuss, layoffs. Because what good is a fat paycheck that the HR is offering going to do for you if they are in no position to retain you for even a year? So enough about scaring people and pausing their job switching dreams on hold. Because not all switches are dramatic. Some job shifts can be big blessings. You leave toxic bosses and suddenly you're in a company that offers free therapy, hobby clubs, sports tournaments, Toastmaster sessions, even book clubs. You surround yourself with great colleagues that are able to inspire you professionally and personally. And you finally feel like more than just an employee ID. Those moments remind you why hopping can be totally worth it. Like anything in life, I guess, job switches too are a gamble. The irony though, by the time you like the place, know the way it runs, what the dress code really means, and how to order chai without getting judged, situations in life sometimes arise where you are then forced to plan your next switch. So here's my next question. Are we really building stronger careers by job hopping, or are we just running faster on the hamster wheel? Lately, I have started to feel I am falling under the second bucket for sure. Maybe switching smartly makes sense, but endlessly hopping, you risk fatter paychecks with shallower roots. Because think of it, if after 10 years you've spent more time filling out onboarding forms than building memories, more time cutting farewell cakes than celebrating promotions, and more time confusing the EPF staff than impressing your boss, maybe it is worth pausing. So, are you looking for a career home, or are you just a career tourist? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Either way, don't stress. Whether you're the dabba bringer, the farewell cake cutter, or the EPF officer's nightmare, you're just one in a millennial. Thanks for listening in and see you soon on the next one.